So did 441 Martians, peace, love, and all that goodness. Eat the thumbs. Where y'all at? How y'all feel? So let's talk about the dog star Sirius. Sirius is in the constellation Canis Major, which is representative of a dog. And Cancer energy is here with an ancestral connection. You're always going to resemble or you're always going to remember that Cancer is closest to the roots. So the dog star Sirius is where a lot of our chosen individuals come from, and Nibiru and a lot of those different things are associated with this. So red, white, and blue is 4th of July colors, right? If you look up into the sky on a dark night and Sirius is on the top side of the hemisphere so that you're able to see it in the sky, you're going to recognize that it twinkles white, red, and blue. And the energetic frequency is known as Independence Day. They hijacked the Independence Day for this specific reason, knowing the history of the dog star, knowing the beings and the extraterrestrial individuals that are sent from that constellation system. The chosen ones, we all are very familiar with the dog star and Sirius, and it is very, very important. While dog star Sirius is closest to us in so many words, it's time to edify the energy. You want to bring the ancestors closer to you. You want to remember who you are by way of the ancestors, the ancestors. That means going within and recognizing subtleties while this season is here. So 2025 has been a pivotal year. The first half of this year was January through June, and that was more of like a stability, a stabilizing energy, right? So now that Sirius is back in the circumference of our reach, the veil is very thin, and the ability for us to access these powers is like a portal. So you're coming up on the 4th of July, then you're going to come up on the 7-7 portal, then you're coming up on the 8-8 portal, then you're coming up on the 9-9 portal, then the 10-10 portal. So all these portals are leading up to the ancestral fortnight. I have a very old video on my YouTube about Fortnite, and I'm not talking about the video game. This is how they trick you up. A lot of times if they rename something, you want to do some research on what it was originally, because what they're trying to do is push the algorithm out so that if you look up Fortnite, only thing you're going to find is some bullshit on the video game, right? Same thing as ISIS. If you look up ISIS, you're going to find some bullshit on the ISIS papers and blase, blase, blah. You feel me? So always remember, if they're convoluting the algorithm, there's something special deep down into that history, or mystery, if you will, because history is his story. Mystery is my story. And my stories are usually truth-based. They may be metaphorical, but there's a truth base to them. History is, a lot of times you'll find somebody overturned a righteous leader. They've taken over their land, and now they're writing a story. Peace. I see the Falcons. You see you get a story on a lie, and they're trying to wash out the memory of the righteousness. So right now, 4th of July is trying to wash out the mystery of the dog star Sirius. Do your own research. I don't have a whole history lesson on the energy. I just recognize when we get to 4th of July, and they call these the dog days, all the way down to the fortnight. These dog days are very important because you're going to team up with a lot of individuals that are like-minded. This is the time for tribe, especially with Aquarius and Pluto. Aquarius and Pluto is shifting the function to singular leaders, which is Leo, the opposite of Aquarius, to humanitarian group leaders. So we're going to form like Voltron, like Power Rangers, you know, Voltron, Captain Planet, not Transform. I just said that. It's another one that I'm thinking of. I can't think of it. But anyway, you get the point. So when we form together, there's a synchronicity within us all, and we're all recognizing and realizing the force that is pushing us to destroy this matrix. So if you notice, you're chosen. But if you don't notice, you may need to get to the back of the line and watch out, because Anstar team, we're back, and we really don't have no in our vocabulary. So don't tell us no. We're going to take it back, and it's all on us. Red, white, and blue is the energy of the Dog Star Sirius. So whenever you see that American flag, just remember that they hijacked the frequency, and they are trying to create independence for their people. So when you talk about the end of the world and things ending and all these different revelations in the Bible, you're looking at an ending of a chapter for a certain group of individuals. The chosen individuals, we're here and we're rising. We're coming online. Our gifts are being activated. It's only a matter of time for we start levitating in this bitch. And I'm laughing, but I'm serious than a motherfucker. Because what's going to happen is the Anstar team, the Nibiru team is back, and you're going to catch a bunch of thunderstorms this summer. And you recognize thunderstorms are oftentimes happening when? In the summer. And you'll get random ones down in Florida. Florida is one of the most chosen areas when it comes to Anstars and ancestors, because that's where a lot of the warriors resided at. You know what I mean? People that kind of gave in to this matrix lived up in the Maryland and DC areas, and a lot of us were pushed down. So you'll notice there's a lot more rebel in individuals that are in the southern planes of existence. And then you'll notice in the Western hemisphere, even more so, they're a lot more rebellious. And that's where the cowboys come from. That's where that energy of cowboys and Indians come from. And actually, we're the original cowboys. We're the original ones that rode the horses and threw the spears. We was on horses and spears, so we was the cowboy Indians. You feel me? That's just a little lesson on what I know, and we can tap into that deeper. Y'all be peace. Y'all be blessed. Love.